Hi, I'm Joey Jenkins, and welcome to the new and improved Inland Northwest Sports Talk. Now, some things have changed a little bit. We're done with the 1-hour radio show every Tuesday night on listentothegame.com. Now we've changed to video. Now we will bring you 3 weekly updates through video, shorter, more up-to-date, with the scores, the stories, the interviews that you want to hear from your favorite Inland Northwest sports team. So no longer do you have to remember to tune in every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on listentothegame.com. Instead, we will bring it all to you. These videos will be updated 3 times a week, in the beginning, in the middle, and then at the end of the week. And they will be uploaded to the listentothegame.com webpage, the Inland Northwest Sports Facebook page, the Inland Northwest Sports Twitter page, and the Inland Northwest Sports YouTube channel. So you can just find the video when you want. It'll come to you. No longer do you have to rely on that one weekly wrap-up, but instead, throughout the week, you'll get the updates that you need to know. And really, as we start off the opening episode, we've now kind of hit the dead time in local sports before we get ready for football. So we just wrapped up American Legion Baseball. We have these couple weeks here in August, and then we get ready for the gridiron. So before we get ready for football and we get you all excited for the pads and the hitting and that fall weather, we've got to wrap up what just happened this last weekend with the Idaho State 2A American Legion Baseball Tournament. Now, if you were with us this weekend on listentothegame.com, you would know that we broadcasted all 14 games of the tournament live online for you to listen to. Not only the Twins games, but every game of the state tournament we broadcasted live. I really hope that you enjoyed it listening. We had a ball broadcasting all those games to bring all the American Legion Idaho State action right to your computer, and it was a fun one. It also was a big one for the Idaho Falls Bandits. We congratulate them on winning the state tournament. They went into Harrisfield very dominating, winning by a final score over the Mountain View Toros 8-4 and finishing up with that title. They will go on to play next week starting this Wednesday, tomorrow, opening up Billings for the regional tournament. So congratulations to them. But let's talk about the LC Twins, because if you're aware, they were in the state tournament. Now, they got there in a little less traditional of a way than any other team did. They got there because they were hosting the tournament. Now, in American Legion, if you host the state tournament, you get in no matter what. So even though this past weekend and last weekend the Twins were eliminated from the district tournament thanks to the Prairie Cardinals, and they ended up losing that district tournament, they still got into state because they were hosting it at Harris Field. They do that because it's such a big event to put on, a big thing to organize. So the LC Twins got into the tournament because of that, but they played like they had brung themselves to that tournament. They played phenomenally well, and the LC Twins ended up finishing 3rd in the tournament. They opened up with 2 big wins, one over Twin Falls, 8-3. Then they took on the Boise Gems and beat them 13-6. So they came in with 2 straight wins to open up the tournament. Then they found themselves in the state semifinal matchup against who else but the Idaho Falls Bandits. And then the Twins lost 2 heartbreakers, 11-1. They were beat by the Bandits. So they played in that loser out game on Sunday morning and ended up losing to the Mountain View Toros 11-3. So even though the Twins lost 2 straight, they ended up getting the 3rd place finish because of those 2 big wins in the opening part of the tournament. And a lot of people were surprised that the Twins were able to do this well. They struggled a little bit in the regular season, had a losing record, but then they came out swinging, and I mean literally swinging, in the state tournament. Let's look a little bit about how the Twins were able to do this, because like I said earlier, a lot of people were surprised by the way they played. A lot of people pictured Coeur d'Alene in that semifinal matchup, even Prairie, and those 2 teams out of the northern area were eliminated before the Twins were. The Twins came in and really surprised a lot of people. So let's look at just exactly how they got here, and really it was the hitting. The hitting. They did such a good job swinging the bat. We look at some stats here that were added up. And by the way, thank you so much to Stacy Hurst for giving pitch-by-pitch stats of all the broadcasts. If you listened on, you were also able to get stats as they happened. So thanks, big thanks to Stacy Hurst, the mother of center fielder of the Twins, Avery Hurst, for doing that for us. But let's look at some stats here, and really it came down to hitting. The pitching was good. We saw Alan Willie pitch very well in the opening game. Leighton Bush pitched well, also Ryan Roth. But it was a big, really, effort by the hitting. Now, we've seen good hitting from Johnny Fuller in that leadoff spot. We've seen good hitting from Randy Fuller. Also, Ryan Roth has done well in that 5 spot. But some other hitters really came out of the lineup and did very, very well. Let's look at some of the batting averages. And really, up front, Randy Fuller did so well. He's been the one consistent part of the lineup. He hit 583 in the tournament. Yes, that's right, 583. So he came out swinging. Also, Johnny Fuller did great in the leadoff spot. He batted 500 in the tournament. But look at this. Mickey Smith batted 286, and he delivered very well in late in games, and we saw that a lot from the Twins. Everybody in the lineup really making a contribution. Now, everyone didn't hit 400, and that isn't really what you need out of a baseball team from every guy in your starting 9 lineup. You needed some clutch and critical hits, and they really got those. So Mickey Smith batted 286. Also, here's a big one, Jake Ralston. Ralston batted 444 in this tournament. So Ralston really came out of the woodwork, and he was a big hitter. Let's look at the RBIs, though, because I think the RBIs are a good stat to look at when we're looking at how they were able to get these victories and get that 3rd place finish. Now, like I said, Randy Fuller did great. He led all RBIs, well, tied with 5. But also, Austin Jones batted in 5 runs. So that was big. We know we expect big things from Randy Fuller, but Austin Jones, who a lot of times batted 7th and even 8th in the lineup, had 5 RBI this tournament here at Harris Field. Also, you saw a couple big runs delivered, 2 RBIs by Mickey Smith, and 2 by Avery Hurst. Avery Hurst was not in the lineup for half of the games, 2 out of the 4, and he even delivered 2 RBIs. So, like we said, when we look at this tournament and we look at how they got these wins, it really came down to the hitting. We saw solid pitching. The pitch location was on. The walk count again was down, and we've seen the walks go down from the starting roster for the Twins very well. They've been able to find better location, but really the key, I think, was their hitting. And not only their hitting from their big guys, we've seen that 3, 4, 5 spot of Randy Fuller, Kyler Brooks, and Ryan Roth do well. But we saw Mickey Smith do well, hitting 2nd. We saw Jake Ralston do well. He was hitting 7th at some points. And so that was really good, is everyone in the lineup getting those clutch hits. So when we look back at this season and we look at how the Twins finished it, it really was a success. You can't just look at the record and the losing record and say, man, it was a tough season. There was some tough times in the season, but look at how they finished up with getting 3rd at state when they shouldn't even have been there. Thanks to them hosting it, they got there, and they played phenomenally well. So congratulations, first of all, to all the Twins and everyone really who helped in the state tournament. It was, of course, hosted by the Twins, and a lot of work went in from the players, the families, and the fans to make that a great tournament. So we do want to thank everyone in the LC Twins family for making it just a wonderful time, and congratulations to all the players of the Twins. And we are going to say some farewells to some of the best players we've seen on the Twins roster this year, and that brings up the question about their future. But we'd love to hear your thoughts. First, the Pullman Patriots and the LC Twins are done this year. We want to hear your thoughts about how you felt everything went. What is your one word to sum up this American Legion season for the Twins and the Patriots? Leave a comment below on our YouTube video. You can also leave a post on our wall on our Inland Northwest Sports Facebook page, or even send us a tweet. Our Twitter handle is @InlandNW Sports. I'd like to hear what you thought and your one word to describe this American Legion season so far, and as it's finished up for the Twins and the Patriots. Now let's talk a little bit about the future. What do the Twins have in store for next year? Well, I had a chance to bump into Randy Fuller. He's one of the big players that is leaving for this team. When we look at some of the big 3, I've really narrowed it down to 3 big players that are going to be leaving the Twins that we need to keep an eye on for who is going to replace them statistics-wise. And that is really Alan Willie, Leighton Bush, and Randy Fuller. Those 3 guys are going to be leaving, and when you look at what Alan Willie's able to do in that starting pitching spot, he's such an ace. His strikeouts were high. He was able to keep a low ERA really the entire season, so he's going to be a big spot to fill. Also, when we're talking about pitching, you have to look at the lefty Leighton Bush, what he was able to do. Again, another commanding pitcher. And then on the hitting side of things, Randy Fuller. He was the one guy in that lineup that you could almost pencil in at least 2 hits a game in that cleanup spot. He delivered big home runs, he brought in runs, and he is leaving. So what's going to happen to those 3 spots? And when I look at pitching, my mind goes to Johnny Fuller and Kyler Brooks. Both Fuller and Brooks played a big role in relief pitching, especially later in postseason play with those 9-inning games, and I think they will be a big factor in maybe subbing in for those two starting positions for Leighton Bush and Alan Willie. You look at what Kyler Brooks was able to do in relief. He started to really get a commanding fastball. That can do well if he can keep his pitch count, and he is able to have the stamina to keep a high pitch count and not just be in relief, but starting will be big. Also, Johnny Fuller kind of turned into almost the LC Twins closer. We saw him a lot of times in late games. He also is getting good location on his pitches, and he's starting to mix it up with a good fastball and then a good breaking ball. So I think Fuller and Brooks will be two good guys to look out for next year as far as pitching. And then as far as hitting, I think it really will be a team effort. But watch out for Jake Ralston. We saw here in the state tournament, he's only a sophomore at Lewiston High School. He should be back next year, but look out for Jake Ralston maybe even stepping up in that cleanup spot and hitting and delivering those big RBIs that were needed that Randy Fuller's been able to do for us this year. So I'd like to hear your thoughts again. You can leave us a comment right on our Facebook page about the future for the LC Twins and the Pullman Patriots. Remember, both young teams, but both the Patriots and the Twins will be losing some very, very valuable hitters and pitchers in their lineup and rotation. So that's something to look forward to. So the season's done. It's hard to believe that American Legion is done. We just started a couple months back. We had a nice summer ahead of us, and now it is finished. So again, congratulations to both the LC Twins and the Pullman Patriots for awesome seasons. We're excited to cover you guys next year, but now we move on to the gridiron. Now, what is exactly in store here for you as the fans for what you can look forward to football this fall? And it is the Moscow Bears and the Colfax Bulldogs will have their games broadcasted every Friday night for all their games on listentothegame.com. And really, as we get ready for those for their opening game in a couple weeks, we're going to give you previews of what you have in store to look forward to this fall with the Bears and the Bulldogs. And so we'll be looking in depth for them, their past year and what they did last year, their schedules, their big opponents. We'll go all of those in depth with our next videos that we'll be updating here later on before the weekend. So a lot of good things to look forward to as football season. Reminder, all the Colfax Bulldogs and the Moscow Bears games we will have for you on listentothegame.com. And so that's exciting stuff. We're excited for football. And it's just, can't believe that it's already here. We're getting ready for football. And this is the place to be. We'll upload those videos to get you all ready for kickoff for the Colfax Bulldogs and the Moscow Bears. Remember to check out the listentothegame.com webpage for all your updated needs. We have downloadable schedules of both the Mariners. We'll have downloadable schedules of the Seahawks as their season starts to heat up. And then we'll also, we have a schedule for all of our local sports every week. You can download those. You can also check out past results. If you missed a score from either the Twins or the Patriots this past summer, go to listentothegame.com, hit the schedules tab, and scroll down, and we have all the scores from this past season. Also, make sure to check us out on Twitter at Inland NW Sports is our handle. Also, check us out on our Facebook page at the Inland Northwest Sports Facebook page. We're also on YouTube, the Inland Northwest Sports YouTube channel. So we will update another video getting ready for Moscow and Colfax football as we start to break down what this season is going to look like and give you a preview of what to look forward to this fall. I'm Joey Jenkins. Thanks for joining us on the new and improved Inland Northwest Sports Talk.